The horrific truth, the dark side of South Korea. In recent years, South Korea has emerged as a global powerhouse in technology, entertainment, and culture. But beneath the surface of this seemingly perfect society lies a dark and horrifying truth. In this video, we delve deep into the underbelly of South Korea, uncovering the sinister secrets and unspeakable horrors that have been swept under the rug for far too long. Brace yourself for a journey into the disturbing and chilling reality of the dark side of South Korea. South Korea is known for its vibrant culture, impressive technological advancements, and booming economy. However, behind the scenes, a single company wields immense power and influence over the country's political, economic, and cultural landscape. We're sure that most of you must be familiar with the popular firm Samsung. Particularly known for its success in the electronics industry, Samsung has gained a lot of popularity across the globe. However, what you might not know is Samsung's horrific dominance over South Korea. Samsung, the largest chaebol in South Korea, dominates the country's economy, controls major media outlets, and even has a say in the country's education system. Isn't that absurd? Samsung Group is the largest chaebol or family-owned conglomerate in South Korea and one of the largest in the world. Founded by Lee Byung-chul in 1938 as a small trading company, Samsung has grown to encompass a wide range of businesses, including electronics, engineering, construction, insurance, and even theme parks. With annual revenues of over $200 billion and a workforce of over 300,000 employees, Samsung wields considerable economic and political influence in South Korea. A country's engine is undoubtedly its economic performance and stability. However, a country can no longer run independently if forces outside the government can influence its economy. Something similar is what is happening to South Korea. Samsung Group is undoubtedly one of the most powerful and influential economic entities in South Korea. The conglomerate's activities span a wide range of industries, including electronics, engineering, construction, insurance, and theme parks, among others. You must be wondering how an enterprise can so quickly gain hold of a country's economy. The answer is simple: through its contribution towards the economy. One of Samsung's most significant contributions to the South Korean economy is its role in the country's exports. The group is responsible for roughly 20% of the country's total exports, making it a critical contributor to the country's balance of trade. Samsung Electronics, the conglomerate's flagship company, is the world's largest manufacturer of smartphones, memory chips, and flat-screen TVs. Given Samsung's significant economic influence, the conglomerate wields considerable power over the South Korean government's economic policies. The South Korean government is highly dependent on the chaebols for economic growth and job creation, and it has traditionally provided them with a range of incentives such as tax breaks and subsidies. As a result, Samsung and other chaebols have significant influence over government policy, particularly in the areas such as trade, investment, and industrial regulation. Despite its economic success, Samsung's dominance has not been without controversy. Critics argue that the chaebol system, which allows family-owned conglomerates such as Samsung to wield significant power, has resulted in a concentration of wealth and economic power in the hands of a few elite families. Brace yourself, for what you might hear next may surprise you. Over the last few years, Samsung's economic power has also been linked to allegations of corruption and illegal activities, including bribery and embezzlement. In 2017, Samsung's de facto leader, Lee Jae-young, was convicted of bribery charges and sentenced to 5 years in prison. While Lee was later released on appeal, the case highlighted the close ties between Samsung and the South Korean government and raised concerns about the conglomerate's undue influence over the country's political system. In the political arena, Samsung's role is also significant. The company has been accused of using its economic power to influence the government and shape public policy. Critics argue that Samsung's close ties with the government have led to favorable treatment, such as access to government contracts and exemptions from regulations. Samsung has also been accused of using its financial resources to fund political campaigns and buy influence. Samsung Group's political influence in South Korea is as significant as its economic power. Let's quickly go back in time and analyze a few historical facts that give Samsung such authority. The conglomerate has a long history of close ties with the South Korean government, dating back to the country's rapid industrialization in the 1960s and 1970s. During this time, Samsung and other chaebols played a critical role in driving economic growth, and in return, the government provided them with favorable policies such as tax breaks and subsidies. More surprisingly, the relationship between Samsung and the South Korean government has faced scrutiny in the international community. In 2017, the United Nations criticized South Korea for allowing Samsung to control the country's economy and political system. The UN also raised concerns about the influence of the chaebols, large conglomerates like Samsung, on South Korea's business environment. Today, Samsung's close relationship with the government continues, with the conglomerate maintaining a significant degree of influence over government policies and decision-making. One way in which Samsung exerts its political influence is through its extensive lobbying efforts. The conglomerate has an army of lobbyists who work to influence policy and ensure that Samsung's interests are represented at the highest levels of government. Samsung's lobbying efforts are aided by the fact that many former Samsung executives hold senior government positions, allowing the conglomerate to exert influence through personal connections and networks. Can you imagine your country's supposedly free media being owned by an electronics company? In fact, Samsung's political influence is also apparent in its control over the media. While a country is deemed free if it can openly express and freely speak, the conglomerate owns several major media outlets, including the Chosun Ilbo newspaper and the SBS broadcasting network. These outlets are widely viewed as supportive of the government and the chaebols, and critics argue that they lack independence and objectivity. Samsung's control over the media allows it to shape public opinion and influence political discourse in ways that benefit the conglomerate's interests. Furthermore, Samsung's political influence is also evident in its relationship with the South Korean judiciary. The conglomerate has been accused of using its economic power to influence the judiciary and escape accountability for its actions. After Lee Jae-young was convicted of bribery charges and sentenced to 5 years in prison, Lee's sentence was later suspended, raising concerns about the independence of the judiciary and the influence of powerful conglomerates such as Samsung. In conclusion, Samsung's control over South Korea is multifaceted and far-reaching. The company's economic power, political influence, and corporate governance allow it to exert significant control over the country's economy and political system. While Samsung's influence over South Korea has been instrumental in driving economic growth and modernization, critics argue that it also has contributed to the country's problems with corruption, inequality, and lack of democratic accountability. We are sure that this video changed the way you would view Samsung and South Korea. Trust me, we were as confused as you before this dark truth as well. What do you think about such influence over the country? Do you think that an enterprise can do more good than bad for a country with such influence? Or do you think that economy and politics are two aspects that shall always remain in the realms of those entrusted with it? Let us know in the comments box down below. If you like this video and would want us to uncover more similar dark secrets, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video, uncovering some scary secrets together.